Hi, my name is Melissa, and this is my contest entry for Lingq's video contest, where you talk about Lingq and how it's helped you with your language learning. Lingq is a website for language learning, and unlike a lot of websites that I went on for learning Portuguese, I like it. I go back to it every day. I enjoy the lessons that it offers. I love the fact that there's a community on this site, which I think a lot of sites out there are lacking. Where it's just an article for vocab and for this category of words, an article of vocab for that category of words. Some phrases you would use for greeting people, some phrases you would use for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, and how to propose and whatever. And then grammar, where you would get this lengthy you had this long lengthy paragraph on something that was so simple. Like how like the gender thing in Portuguese. I'm like, okay, well, most of the time when it's female, there's an A at the end, and you say A. And then when something was supposed to be masculine, there was an O. Okay, fine. Like, why did someone have to give me this whole, paragraph explaining it when you could have just said that and say that, or just tell me the general idea, and then when I got better, gave me more. But no, they wanted to give me everything at once, and would make me feel like my brain was going to hurt, and kind of made me believe that someone out there had this conspiracy that I should not learn Portuguese. Yes. I mean, come on, even the made up languages of Klingon was probably easier to learn on the internet than this. And but what I liked about Lingq was that well, for one thing, the vocabulary, there wasn't a list of vocabulary, there wasn't a list of grammar rules, but there were lessons. And when you open a lesson, you would have text. And it'd be in the language you want to learn, Portuguese. That was it. Wouldn't be in English, wouldn't be in English if you were someone who was English learning it. That was it. And the text would have would be highlighted, each word would be highlighted in blue. And you hover over it, and there would be a little pop-up, and it would give you the hints. So you would go and you would click, and you'd be like, okay, that word is that, means that word means that. Let's highlight something so it's a phrase, and you know that that phrase is for that. And as you're going, you have it all. And if you know a word, you would say known, and it would keep track of your known words. Words that way. And what I do when I'm on Lingq, is I pick up I would pick a lesson, I go to it, and the first thing I would do was I would see if I knew any of the words. Sometimes I knew right off the bat. Sometimes I would just say to myself, you know what? That word sounds a little familiar, and I've heard it before. And I think I've heard it before from my family, or maybe I've heard it before, when, whenever I went to the Portuguese church. I think it means this. And I would look and I'd be like, oh, I was right. Right. It does mean that. Good for me. But then the words I didn't know was obviously highlighted and stuff. And I would listen to these. I would I would listen to the lesson. I would read the lesson a few times. And about after every 3 times I read or read, I would go to the flashcards and I would test myself with the flashcards. And over I would do this so that I would get the words and learn it this way. Because when someone just, gives me a word and says, this means book, it doesn't help me. Okay, fine, it means book. Am I gonna go to last time I checked, am I gonna go to a store and go, book? No, you can't just tell me to say book. It means book. This means this. But when I learn this way, I'm learning the words stick with me and the phrases stick with me and the way it's spoken sticks with me because you have real people speaking instead of this sort of, weird scripted dialogue. And also with Lingq, because there are many different people, a lot of stuff is made by the users. You can talk with somebody on the forum in the language. I've seen people on the I read posts of people on the forum who are from countries such as Japan, France, Mexico, different people who speak different languages doing really well in English. Lingq also encourages their users to help each other out. Where, say you want to learn English, you would show someone who was learning another language and was native in English or knew enough about English that they would go over your writing. They could tutor you about stuff, about the language. They would share their experience. They would share their tips. And I love the fact that, for me, it's a community that helps you out. Where someone would say, "Oh, you're learning online. You're not learning it with someone." When I listen to these lessons, I'm not hearing somebody list off colors. I'm hearing someone describe a painting that they saw. I'm hearing someone describe their favorite dress. I'm hearing someone describe the I'm hearing someone describe their Christmas tree. I'm hearing real people. So, thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye.